Everyone's running around right now saying, what do our employees want? We put in the ping pong tables and the free cereal in the lunchroom, and they're still leaving. And then we gave them all a raise, and they're still leaving. I said, well, are their values aligned with what you're asking them to do? Are you creating a culture that makes them feel like this is a place that understands them and is making them feel great every day? And if you're not, you're missing an enormous opportunity. And now we can do it with data. So your original question was, what's different? Well, what's different is we've proven without a shadow of a doubt that demographics are nonsense. There's a system we've been using since the beginning of time. We've never got proof. Let me give you a stat. This will really drive the point home. So there's a million surveys in a database, accurate in 180 countries, more accurate than you need for a PhD. For Data Geek listing today, it's plus or minus 3.5% accurate, 95% confidence. So it's bulletproof stuff, right? So we can slice and dice it by demographics and say, okay, let's look at Gen Z. Everybody's running around right now going, what does Gen Z want? And so let's see how targetable, how similar are they? Can we talk about them as a group like that? Well, across all of the demographic labels that we're all familiar with, age, gender, income, marital status, Gen Z, all of them, everybody inside those buckets, they're only about 10.5% similar. They're 90% unalike.
Wow.
That Gen Z wants this. It's nonsense. It's absolute. If this was a show where we weren't going to get bleeped, I'd say it's fucking bullshit. It's absolutely ridiculous.
I know.
It's beyond me how we continue to spend trillions of dollars a year targeting people based on what we think we know about them because of their gender, their age, their income. But we do. You know what? If you find out your target audience is 73% female, what are you going to do with that? You're going to make everything pink? but we laugh about it. But I dare you to go into the toy store and look at the pink toys and the blue toys. Yeah. Like it's happening everywhere, and it doesn't work. It doesn't work. So we need to break the stranglehold that demographic thinking has on us. And start embracing what really does make people similar, which is their values, which cut across all demographics. So you put a group of people together who have the same values, they'll be all different ages and incomes and everything.
The question now is, how do we get people to really hone in understanding their own values that they can articulate? Right. They behave in a certain way, which is geared by values, but how do they articulate their values?
Now, the folks who work for you is one group of people. What we need to understand what their core values are, but also the folks who don't work for you yet, who are out in the talent pool, who you'll be recruiting from, because otherwise you're just creating a culture that's based. This is like a fly locked in amber. You're just talking to the folks who are there right now. So you got to take into account the ones who might be there tomorrow. You should also think about your consumers, your clients, your prospective clients or consumers, your partners, your vendors, everybody who's in your ecosystem. And if you can find out all of their values and see where they overlap, you'll end up with 2 or 3 values that work for shareholders and customers and employees and everyone, a set of values that they have in common. And now you can say, these are the values of the people who are involved with this legal entity called our corporation. And the behaviors that we would like to see everybody follow as a result of that are this, and this. So our behaviors come from our values. So that makes a lot more sense to me. Now, that's me barking up a tree that I probably will never get to the top of, because that's trying to change what the entire corporate universe thinks of as values and telling them that they don't have any. But there you go. So your question, how do individuals within any context understand their own values? Well, first we need to define what a value is. So a value, as defined primarily by the sociological world, but most behavioral scientists will agree with this definition. It's something that is so inherently part of who you are that you use it as a filtering mechanism to make every decision you make. Not sometimes and not every now and then, but every decision. So let me give you an example. A lot of us are doing things that we believe are great for, or hopefully helpful for the planet. So we could say environmentalism is a value. And for some people, environmentalism is absolutely a value. But there's a whole lot of people who do environmentally friendly things, but it's not a driving force in every decision they make. I mean, Tesla. People buy Teslas. Is it because every one of them is concerned for the planet? No. Some of them are doing it because all their friends have one. So that's friendship. Some of them are doing it because they think it makes them look like they have a bunch of money. So that's social standing. Some of them are doing it for the planet. So that's environmentalism. So we need to make sure that what we're talking about is the stuff that drives us to make all of our decisions. Now, how do you find those things? Well, there's a bunch of different ways. This is going to sound like a book plug, but you've written a book. You know that you make about a buck a book for everybody who buys. So my book is called The Death of Demographics, and there's a quiz in there. There's a 15-question quiz you can fill out, and that'll help you understand which of 15 chapters you kind of fit into. Now, those are the archetypes, the 15 archetypes, but that's courageous to say that the whole world fits into 15 categories. Of course, there's millions of categories that people in the world break out into, but if 15 big giant tribes, if you will, it's a start. At least you're putting yourself in with a group of people, and in each of those chapters, we tell you everything we know about the people who are inside that tribe. But an even simpler way, and by the way, you can use that quiz for your workforce or your clients, your employees, your customers, whoever. Just send that quiz out, tally it up, and it'll tell you what kind of people you got in your hands here. An even simpler way is these 3 questions that we've tested now around the world. We call them the 3 telltale questions. And I generally am giving these questions to people who are trying to understand the values of a group of people. Like, how do I understand the values of my clients or my employees? So you can use these 3 questions. But if you also sit down quietly by yourself, nobody's watching, and answer these honestly, like raw, honestly, you'll start to get a sense of what your values are. So the first question, why do you go to work? People will tell you it's because it's my creative outlet. It's because it's where my friends are. It's because I feel like I'm powerful there, because I'm doing a good thing for the world. They'll have all kinds of different reasons.
Or I need to pay the mortgage.
Yeah, pay off my mortgage. It's for my family. It's for, so that's one way to get to one question. The second question is, you've just won the lottery, and why would you give away half? Not who would you give it to or where, but why would you do that? And then the third question, which is my favorite, it's also a great friend tester. Next time your friends are over a couple of drinks, use this one. You learn some stuff about your friends. So this one is, you get to say one thing to yourself from 10 years ago. And what would that one thing be? And the important part of the question, though, is why that thing? Why would you say that? Of all the things you could say, the one thing you chose to say to yourself 10 years ago. So if you ask people those questions, or ask yourself those questions, and are honest with your answers and not doing it in a way where you're just trying to show off for someone else, you start to get a sense of what's really driving you, all the important decisions in your life.